Welcome to EduTalk Podcast. I am Ruth Gahemba Solomon and I am your host. On this episode, we will be talking about the mental health well-being of high-grade students, strategy for support. And in the house with me, I have Mr. Ige Oluwakayode Stephen, Student Guidance Counselor Premier Lube Abuja. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
And the beautiful Mrs. Choma Tracy Kamenos, Student Counselor, Royal Family Academy. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for availing us this opportunity. The topic in question is a very interesting one because it's something that we all need in every sphere of life, because if you do not have a stable mental health, you will not be able to work or do anything important in life, because I believe if your mind is not in place, you will not be able to be productive. So please, sir, how long have you been a counselor for?
20 years.
Wow, 20 years. Wow, that's interesting. I'm very sure it has been an interesting journey, sir.
Very, very.
And ma'am?
12 years.
Wow. Thank you so much I'm sure it has been a very interesting journey for you too as well.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. So we'll be, first of all, I want to, what's the importance of a counselor in schools?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, I will use my life experience.
Okay, ma'am.
Just to answer your question. So when I was in secondary school, I knew I wanted to be in the education line. Like
Okay.
I knew, in fact, right from when I was in the children class in my church, I knew I wanted to be in the education line, but I had no idea, the
Where you fall
particular
under.
exactly. So there was this beautiful woman. I still have her picture in my head.
As beautiful as you.
Very beautiful. Light skin, lighter than I am. There was this particular day she was wearing wine suits.
Wow.
Clean woman. I have all my, I think that was maybe just 3. I was really wowed by that woman. So I asked, because she was new to the school at that time, I was like, who is that person? They said, that's a guidance counselor. I was like, really? Can someone that works in a secondary school dress like this, clean,
Wow.
beautiful, everything intact? That was when I was like, no.
You must be on this career path.
I think this education thing that is calling my name is for
This
guidance
is where
and
you need to
counseling.
stay.
So that is the importance of guidance counselors. They add the spice. They are for balance in secondary schools.
Okay.
After students do all the academics and co-curricular activities, the guidance counselor is that personnel, that professional that is there to help them balance their secondary school life and their experiences even outside of school.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. So how do you identify children that need counseling in schools?
Okay.
Or is for everyone?
Counseling is for everyone.
Yeah.
Not only for the student, but every member of that school.
Okay.
Now, let me start by defining who is a counselor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
A counselor is someone who is personally trained and adequately qualified to help the counselee, in some cases, some would say client,
Okay.
right? To be able to make wise decisions, develop their own point of view, and to adjust to every situation they find themselves.
Okay.
That is a counselor. So the role of a counselor in a school is very, very important, right? Yes. Let's say we have about 400 students. We might eventually either have 1 or 2 counselors, right? You see, a counselor that has been trained psychologically will be able to know, like you're not fine today. What you are wearing, looking gloomy or dejected. Apart from the referral,
Yeah.
right? Every staff in the school
Wow.
is a counselor, right?
Wow.
But just that they call them local
Counselors.
Understand? Because now, like my school, we have just 2 counselors, male and female, over 400 students. There's no way we could identify those who are, emotionally challenged or whatever. So there's a system in place that will make a referral to guidance counselor, apart from even when we see it ourselves.
Okay, you mentioned something. You have a male and a female counselor.
Yeah.
So, and for you as a male, are you supposed to counsel just the male students, or you can do both?
At all. See, there are issues that are, gender-based,
Yeah.
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
Academic, any of us,
Yeah.
right? But when it has to do with womanhood,
Yeah.
she handles that,
Okay.
right? Or if it's a general issue, maybe placement, academic deficiency, and what have you, she also handles that. But when it comes to gender-based issues, I hands off.
Okay, sir. You mentioned you've been a counselor for 20 years.
Yeah.
What actually motivated you? What made you to choose this career path?
Yeah, well, it's actually my plan was to go for something different.
Okay.
Then I have an uncle who went through Polytechnic. Now, when it was time for me to obtain JAM in those days,
Yeah.
he now advised, why not go to college of education? Because this, issue of discrepancy between HND and BSc, I understand, he experiences. Now he now said, I want to go to college of education. Well, okay, that means I'm going to be a teacher, right? So at the end of the day, I got admission to FCE Katsina, Federal College of Education Katsina.
Okay.
You understand? From there, immediately after my NC, I was able to get a job in one school So I now applied to University of Ibadan that time. I never knew what counseling was all about. I just put counseling.
Okay, you found
So-
yourself counseling children.
Yes. So at the end of the day, I found myself in University of Ilorin. And
Wow.
believe you me, honestly, I don't think I can do any other job than this counseling. Apart from being able to help myself, to guide other people, the satisfaction is always there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you have the people around
Yes.
you knowing what to do or how to
How
navigate
to
life.
navigate, exactly. And that has helped me a lot, even my children, myself. But remember, you see, counseling says that at a point, every one of us will have issues that you won't be able to solve yourself. So when that happens,
You will need someone to talk to.
exactly, and that person is a counselor. So even as a counselor, I have issues too.
So
That-
who do you go to?
Right?
How do you go to? You
Well,
as a counselor.
those who have more experience,
Exactly.
you understand?
Okay.
We have senior, professors are there, Fortunately, I'm running a program in University of Abuja, my PhD. Professors here are there. I can really go to them. Please, I have this issue. Right? So, as human being, there's a time that
You would need someone to talk to.
someone to talk to you. And there's something called pent-up emotions. You have issues bothering you, and there's no one around to talk to. Honestly, it kills fast.
Wow. So if you need to stay alive, you need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why my first degree in counseling, my second degree in counseling, my PhD in counseling. I don't think I can do any other job.
Wow.
So generally, how has this journey been? Like, how have you been able to identify with children who maybe are mentally down, like maybe battling with depression as a result of maybe their parents or family issues or crisis? Because I believe as a human being, if you're around people, it's possible that what is bothering someone else can actually affect you.
Yeah.
You might not be able to tell exactly what the problem is, but you can tell that there's something wrong. And if you are a child who you know that, okay, maybe they consider you to be someone they are not able to speak with. If you are that child who you find yourself in that situation, how would you be able to help a kind of a child? Like, would you cancel the child and the parents, or how would you be able to help such a child?
Okay. Like in my place of work, right? As I told you, we are two.
Yeah.
Now, apart from referral, from the teachers, from the house parents, from even the non-academic staff, they make referral. Now, issue whereby a girl or boy withdrew to himself. I have two recent cases
Okay.
that we had to involve the parents. That's why as a school, you don't think of solving the problem.
Okay.
There's need for you to be able to collaborate with parents.
Okay. When you say collaborate, what do you mean?
Okay. Now, we had a case not a week or before this close of school. Fortunately, the girl wrote something nasty in a piece of paper, more or less a suicide
Note.
note, right? So fortunately, one of our friends was able to pick it
We pick it.
and I brought it. Right? Like, I'm tired of this world. Life is meaningless to me and what have you. Right? Well, in case I sleep, if I don't wake up, mommy, I love you. And, so we're able to pick it up. Now, although it wasn't the counselor that picked it up in the first place, it was the director of admin that the case was reported to. Then he now referred it to us. So, being a girl, the female counselor had to invite her.
Over.
So, for the initial preliminary discussion, I was there. So when it comes to open up, so they did it. And without her knowing, we now invited the mother.
Okay.
The mother was not even in town. Yes, it was outside Abuja.
Okay.
Please, I'm sending someone. So the woman now asked her to snap the note.
So it's likely the fact that her parents have not been around that has maybe made her felt unloved or something.
So the mother had to find her way to Abuja, straight to the school. At least we were able to discuss it. I mean, the woman was crying, the girl was crying. Why you do that to me? And it's the only girl in the family. So in my place of work, right, one of my responsibilities is to hold consultation with parents in case of something like this.
Okay, Ma, what do you have to say about this?
Well, for me, it's always it's easier to identify extroverts, the ones that are they relate easily with people, they're outspoken. It's very easy to identify when they're battling with issues because you will just see them. They will just withdraw. They'll be talking less. And, so it will be very, very easy for you to identify that, okay, this particular child is having one or two things that they are dealing with. Then for the introverts that don't really relate, you will still see the difference. They may be the quiet ones, and then they will go a step further from being just quiet and probably maybe now sleeping in class, skipping classes. From the look of their face, you will even know that, okay, this particular child, I just need to ask, how are you? Just the normal WH questions. And it may surprise you what will come out of their mouth if you probe.
For someone like me who, I can be with you, I will have a lot on my mind, you will not know.
Oh, wow.
Because I am living like, you wouldn't even know, like I said, you'll be thinking, is there something wrong with me? You won't know. So how would you, if I was in your shoes, or if I was supposed to be your client or your student, how would you be able to help me?
Okay, so for every student that enters the school, they get one-on-one interaction with us where we do the orientation. So for every session, like this coming September, we'll do the same thing. We'll hold orientation for all the students where we get to know them. We get to know their parents. We give them forms to fill. We give their parents form to fill. Just the WH, just to know them. So from day one, you have an idea of the students you're dealing with. And then we do... No, you will. Because trust me, every child at entry into secondary school, they are very happy. They are always very happy. You will hear the best from them, even their parents. That's where you get the first-hand information about them. So from there, we build, we follow up. So when those changes come, trust me, one way or the other.
I stayed in school for the longest. I had people around me. In fact, I know that the only thing they could pick about me was the fact that, oh, if you call my name, most of them they know me facially.
Okay.
But they didn't know my name. Or some of them know my name but don't know me facially. But one thing that I know that, okay, they could say this was rude was that I was always, I've always been someone that likes to be organized.
Okay.
So, and I would come to class early. I sit in front. I'm all into everybody's face. I might not be moving around, but you can tell that, okay, someone is here.
Yeah.
Now, when my parents divorced, I think in year 1, year 2, it was a bit challenging. But of course, I will come to school, be myself as usual. You wouldn't even know anything about me. Now, I realized that I was finding it difficult to... Not that my grades dropped, because I could read. I didn't actually know how to handle the situation. I could read, I might not remember. So I resorted to cramming.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect my grade. So, of course, all through as I stayed in school, nobody even knew that okay, this was what was going on with me. Now, for me as your student, I know that okay, it's going to be a bit difficult for me to open up with you because I will need time to maybe get used to you or all those stuff. Some children are like that. And then
Yeah.
maybe from when you have backgrounds where they tell you don't tell strangers your things. Whatever you're going through, come back and tell your family. Don't tell people you don't know your personal life or your problems. How do you, if I'm that person, how do I navigate?
When you said school, are you talking about secondary or university?
I was actually in university,
You're in university. Okay, now,
but it started while I was in secondary
Secondary
school.
school.
okay, it started while you were
Yes,
in secondary
because
school.
it happened before I in fact, I think I was barely a year.
In university.
Yeah, but it actually came out more when I was in the university and all of those stuff.
Okay, so you see, for guidance counselors, there is this 80-20 rule. Yes, it's true that we try our best as much as possible to reach every student in the school, but trust me, we are not we are not super beings.
Yeah.
You know, there's an extent to which we can reach. It's always easier when students come to us or when referrals come to us, but reaching 100% students in my 7 years of like practicing guidance and counseling, I am not going to say that I've been able to reach 100% of my students.
Yeah.
So probably if you were in my hand, then probably you fall into the 20 ratio that I wasn't able to reach as a result of maybe your personality and maybe lack of referral from your family or your close friends. Did you keep close friends then?
I don't really keep friends, funny enough.
Oh, okay. So that would be it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The best thing is to have a system in place, right?
Okay, when you say system.
Yes. Now ratio 2 to say 450, right? There's two
sir.
counselors and let's say 450 students, right? You know, it's a very, very Herculean task. Now we organize workshops, training seminars
Okay.
on how to identify a student that is having mental health issues, right?
Yes.
Now, a case was referred to us some time ago. This is a boy who was agile, accommodating here and there, but suddenly he withdrew to himself, right? You know, we didn't notice because, we don't teach them, and except we meet them on the way or whatever, or probably we have a general program,
Yes.
you know. So they sent the referral form to us. You understand? So this boy withdrawn and many other things like that. So we now have to invite the boy. Are you okay? Say, I'm okay. No friends? How will you be in the school of over 400 students? Do you
And
have
you don't find
somebody?
anybody to relate with.
Exactly. You know, so then the issue of trust is also very important. So the counselor build trust, right?
Yes, sir.
And they know that the issue of confidentiality is key to us. Except it has to do with life. That's when we divulge information. Well, it has nothing to do with life, we don't. So once they build that trust, that, if I own up to him or her, it's going to cover all I said. So now we invited the boy, on a daily basis, after school and whatever. You know, so we got to a point and I said, okay, please, let's have a deal, right? We call it contingency contracting, right? You do this, I will also do this, right?
Okay.
So please, are you bring a friend to us? The boy said, give me some time. Yeah, give me some time, right?
For someone who doesn't have a friend.
Can you imagine? So later we have the opportunity to call parents on issues, although we hold confirmation and consultation with the principal and what have you. So we invited the mother and was able to own up, and the boy has changed. So system in place is very important. If the school emphasizes the fact that everybody in the school are all counselors, right? Irrespective of not adequately trained, qualified. But when they are either in the hostel, in dining, on the field, when they identify, they make referral to us, and we'll go on from there.
Okay. So you mentioned something earlier about having a female and a male counselor.
Yeah.
What's that thing that a student has told you that has really like left you wowed, like something the student has shared with you that has left you out? You're smiling. I think I would like to start with you.
Oh, well, you see, we don't actually take an oath, but there is this thing called confidentiality. We
Yeah.
don't discuss our students,
Except
whether
it has to do with life.
exactly, even when it's a live show.
No. You could actually basically maybe just give us a little tip. We don't need more, but at least just give us something.
Okay, in my entire
Career.
career so far, well, the one thing that, still resounds to me was when a student was referred to me. And it was like multiple molestation, like it was just everywhere, in her house, everywhere. When they traveled, when they came back to Abuja, by her family members, cousins.
Wow.
Yes.
That's much.
Cousins, and in fact, I can't say. And the things that they did to that girl and then got her into becoming an addict, that still stands out to me.
Wow.
I'm sure you want to hear the remaining
Please,
detail.
I'm so interested.
Well,
I'm so interested.
well.
And of course, my viewers are maybe so interested in what happened, because that's an interesting question and topic. So we want to really know more.
Well, it was just surrounding molestation. An older person telling a younger person to do things ordinarily you wouldn't tell children to do to you sexually. So that still stands out to me, as in my whole experience. Yeah.
Sir, how about you?
Well. One of the notable experiences I've had is that the boy was doing well before,
Okay.
but suddenly dropped. So they went on holiday. I can't remember, is it December or April? I can't remember. So the boy came back looking gloomy, dejected, wearing facial outlook that's not welcoming.
Wow.
Right? So fortunately, the case was referred to us. Now I invited the boy, and I mentioned trust the other time, right?
Yes.
When they trust you, they're ready to go now. So it's like, this is your grade last 2 terms. Why are you dropping? The boy now owned up to say that during the last holiday, there was a crisis in the home, that my dad pointed gun at my mother. That was going to kill him. And the boy witnessed it live.
That's a traumatizing experience.
So that's called a post-traumatic therapy. So we now employed it. And we had to invite the woman. And happens to be one of these daughter of the leaders in this country. We invited her. Yes, it's true that the problem was with them, because the boys saw it live. And the glory of God, at least, were able to work on the boy, and the boy graduated with several A's.
Wow. So for children who maybe are not opportune to have schools that maybe have counselors and maybe counselors or system in place, can a child who is from a different school show up to you? Like, can they approach you for counseling if a need be?
To approach me, they have to know that I'm a counselor.
Because, for example, I want to believe that if I'm in a school where systems are set up, of course, we have friends that they will come back, okay, in my school, there's this man that if I have a problem, I can walk up to, or there's this woman, this fine auntie that if I have issues, I can just walk up to. So if I'm from a school who don't even know the importance of a counselor, can I walk up to you, or can you be able to, maybe, what advice would you have for such a child or schools?
Well, you see, I will start with the school. Whoever, principal or whoever is the head of that place, that it is compulsory
to have counselors.
To have counselors in school.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that in some schools, those who act as counselors are not counselors. Some of the subject teacher and what have you, just to save cost. You understand? See, then there's a limit to which they can go.
Okay.
Because they are not trained, and they're not qualified. Because some of the things that you observe, monitoring and observation, that you can clearly read on a student,
Yeah.
right? They don't have it. So it's compulsory that every school must have a counselor.
Okay.
And if it's a school that is large, it's very necessary to have two. But there are issues that have to do with girls that the male counselor may not be able to handle. All right. So that's why at times even my female counselor is not around. And I want to see Mrs. Miss Rejoice. It's not around. After 5 minutes, I said, okay, come. Is it a womanhood or when you say academics, okay, sit down. We'll start. But he said, no, I have to see her. When she says I have to see her, I know this is a female matter,
A gender-based.
gender-based issue. So that's the way it is done. And on her part too, if there are issues that has to do with
The male.
the male, I should try with the preliminary therapy and what have you. But by the time I come back, then I'll take over from there.
Okay. So for students that what help can student that seek like what help can student going through a mental breakdown, depression, anxiety, what are the systems or the strategies you would say or advise them to go through? Are there therapies or like what exactly are there exercises? Because I think I read somewhere where I learned exercises to help
Yeah.
children maintain a mental health that is stable.
Yeah.
What are the therapies or exercises we would say to children who needs certain kind of counseling?
Well, tackling students with mental health is holistic. It's it cuts across not just the counselor students, it
Okay.
goes over to the home. The home, when students are identified with mental issues, mental problems.
But sometimes even the parents are not willing to open up or
That's,
even
that's
say
what I'm
anything.
saying. The parents, extended family members, because there is this saying that it is the community that owns a child, not just the parent. So the community where the child is coming from, and then in the school, not just the council, teachers, because talking reality now, teachers interact with students more.
More.
It's like 90-10. From 7:30 or 8 o'clock, depending on the school, from 7:30 to 2 o'clock, teachers they spend more time with students than counselors. So teachers, they are also part of our team. So it cut across is a wide range in helping them. So encouraging them to, you talked about exercise. Yes, they are supposed to develop healthy, exciting activities,
Yeah.
hobbies that they like. Making friends. You see, this social thing is very important. In fact, a child should be taught, a child with poor social skills should be identified from 2 years. You should be able to know if a child has good
From where-
social skills
Wow.
or poor. So yeah, from 2 years, you will see. Just observe when they go to play, whether in the neighborhood or in the school. Watch the way they play.
But we are in the Gen Z era where mommy is going to work 6 a.m. Daddy is off to work 6 a.m. They have nannies who don't even really care because, of course, they're not related to them. They're just paid to come and take care of children and all. So you find it like, okay, parents who leave home early and leave their children under the care of a nanny or a caregiver, most times they don't really pay attention to these things.
True.
So, and then it makes the children, and then sometimes the nannies are very, very hostile to them.
Yeah.
So they can't even open up to their parents because, of course, when would they see them?
Mm.
Or maybe the nanny, they open up to the nanny. Or sometimes it's even the bully or the whole thing comes from the nanny.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, parents, we need to do a very whole lot of work. Like you have to be able to observe your children. Oh, that's much.
It's balance for me, but it's a wake-up call for all parents. I'm sure a lot of parents are watching and they are listening. No matter how busy you are, you just need to find time. If you're not ready to find time for your children, why give birth to them? Why?
But Shay, looking for money is part of taking care of them.
There should be balance, my sister. Balance should be brought in to the equation. No matter how busy you get, in a day there are 24 hours. Okay, let's say you use 6 hours to sleep and then you use 10 hours or 12 hours for your work or whatever you're pursuing. At least, the least you can give your child every day, not just go take your food one-on-one, at least 15 minutes.
I think you mentioned something about sleep. Okay, so you wanted to say something.
Yes, just an appeal to schools,
Okay.
right, and the parents. Like in my own school, there are structures in place through which, no matter what, a student would own up. There's something called gender assembly. Okay, so every Tuesday, girls on one side, the boys on one side. We call it, have something called mentoring program.
Okay.
Now we allocate students to mentors.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe 5, 10, 15, and what have you. So usually happen on Friday. And you know, at that meeting, you know, we give them topics: mental health issue, depression, you know, sexual abuse, drug, and what have you. So the mentors, right? They, you know, they bring themselves down to the level of the student, by which they will say, this is what I'm facing. You know, all these innocent JS1, JS2 students. You know, I mean, you know, in those days, I mean, in primary school, we say uncle, 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 you know, but in university, sorry, in the secondary school, I mean, Mr. So, Mr. So. So they own up. So those structures are in place that, you know, enable my student to be able to speak out.
In a case where the person that is supposed to cancel me is the person bullying me.
That's a serious one.
Yes.
Is it the counselor bullying or the teacher bullying?
The person that I'm supposed to go to when I'm being bullied, who is my counselor,
Yes.
is the one who is actually my tormentor. How do I do this?
That's not a good counselor. At least to have undergone that training, right?
Because I remember you mentioned something
Counselor will
about
not be a bully.
mentorship.
Yes, yes.
We've seen people who have been abused by their mentors.
Yeah.
We've
Yes.
seen people who have, and mentors have used their position, instead of helping them, they've made them worse than how they even came to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in such a situation where I'm supposed to submit to you and you are the major, like you're my trigger, what would you tell such a child, or how do I navigate around it?
Okay, anyway, let me start by saying that counselor will not be a bully.
Exactly.
Right? But in case, you understand, I'm not denying the fact that probably a teacher.
I don't want to agree with you anyway.
No, as far as I know, I'm entitled to know, counselors are not bullies. You understand? So let's say in case a particular student was allocated to a particular teacher.
Yes.
And probably, you know, he or she doesn't like that teacher, right? They will come to us and say, sir, ma, I don't want to be in that mentoring group. What about it? When we are told, we investigate. If it's true, then we change that student to another mentor. But we'll let the mentors know that, come on, this is what happened. This boy said, you did this, that. And
If you wanted to say something.
Well, I like to be personal. You know, I don't like to speak for people. But in my experience so far, counselors we are unique beings. Just take a statistics. Go, if you sample 10 schools, you will see what I'm talking about. We are different. Counselors are different. We're just like,
Okay, when you say
package-
different, what makes you different from every
the
other?
training, we are professionals. So when you were talking about what if a counselor, no, I can maybe agree with you when you say, okay, a teacher is the tormentor.
yeah.
A teacher that is supposed to be a mentor is the person now tormenting the student. But a counselor, no, I will not agree with that. That a counselor would, you know, take the position of a tormentor to a child or a student. I have not seen. Well, I've not seen.
So what if I have seen?
Wow, that would be one in a million.
That should be
then.
an isolated case.
That would be one in a million.
Isolated case.
Yes.
So you've been in this for 20 years. Can you tell us more about the peculiar difference between, let's say, the rich and the average families? How has it been with their children, or maybe them as parents? Like, for example, children who, because this person is from an average home, is being tormented by a teacher, or maybe bullied by a teacher or a fellow student. How has it been for you? What has been the experience?
Well, quite interesting. Like my school, that's Premier Academy. We have the scholars, those who are sponsored by Shell.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the brain is there, but from the very less privileged home. You know, I could recall that the first year that some students were sent to my school, honestly, the children from the rich home, what they wear and what have you, they look at them and you understand. And after the first year, these students, they top the classes.
That's from the average homes.
They are scholars, That time it was very competitive. Before you qualify for that scholarship, you must have been a very intelligent student, right? So being the first year, they look down on them. No, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Even look at what they are wearing, their skin, and what have you, right? The first time in a class, maybe have about 8 of them, the first 5 positions. That's when the students from the rich home, they now start up. Yes, physically they are nowhere, but up here, mentally, it got to a point that you can no longer differentiate between those who are scholars and from the rich home. So it's natural. Look down. Who are you? If not shared, will you ever be here? No, but it's changed over time.
How about you, Mom? You have something to share with us?
Well, where I'm practicing in right now, I call them fortunate children. Yes, on a scale of 1 to 10, you find just, let's say 2 students from not just even the low income, maybe average.
And that's why I said
and
the rich
above.
and the
Average, yeah.
And from my school, you hardly notice. You hardly notice because they do the same things, they wear the same things, everything is done. They do their things almost in the same way, so you will hardly notice. But you as the teacher or you as a guidance counselor, with your privileged information, you'll be the one to know that, this person is from a very rich background and this one is from an average background. The system in the school generally, let me take birthdays, for example. Students are only allowed to come with drinks for the class and cake. That's all. No party pack, no rice, no pizza, no anything. So in that aspect, you see that everybody will have the same birthday. Nobody's birthday will be more glamorous than, you understand what I'm trying to say? So the system in the school, they did it in such a way that everybody is carried along and on the same path.
Okay, we've seen where children go to school, maybe they did something wrong, and a teacher disciplined them. In the case where the parents or the guardian comes to school to fight the teachers for disciplining their child or maybe trying to put the child in order, like in that situation, how do you react?
Well, my school is a boarding school. And I must say that I've never had that experience, right? Now, the system in place over there's something called incident form.
Okay.
When there's an infraction, you give that form to that student, and be able to fill the form, what really happened, right? Before we now send to the disciplinary committee. So the disciplinary committee, whatever that comes out from there, if there's need for us to invite the parents, we'll do that. We'll invite the parent. If it's something that we can just punish, they mop, they pack.
Because I know that just for some schools that don't allow their teachers disciplining the students, I've seen where teachers who are even going through mental stress, release that stress on children, maybe in the way of punishment or something. They don't even, maybe, of course, they feel they don't need counselors or something, and instead of them going for the proper help they need, you see them bringing out that tension. Of course, life is very, very challenging. So sometimes people don't know how to navigate the stress of life, or trying to, maybe the economic situation and everything. They try to ease their attention or maybe bring out the stress on children. In that situation, what are the measures that are put in place for such a teacher?
Like in my place of work, coincidentally, I'm in charge of training, so there are cases that some students have said, teachers, they bring their homes experiences to the class.
Because funny how it's a very funny experience whereby a teacher will have a farm in school and tell children to go and farm for them.
Unfortunate is unfortunate, but although I've not experienced that because maybe the type of school I found myself, right? In my place, I mean, we wash for them. The only thing they do as punishment is to mop, right? And to pack plates. But to cut grass, no. You know, to wash toilet, no.
Yes, you see, this thing, it boils down to the school system.
System.
Personally, when I was in secondary school, yes, for my agricultural science teacher, yes, we went to the farm, but we never for once, I think from just 1 to just 3 years, we never did that in the senior class. We had to go to the farm, do practicals that we never harvested. That was me because I went to a public school. But now, working in a private school, there is nothing like that. There's nothing like cutting grass or serving. In fact, teachers are not even allowed to punish students. If a child has done anything grievous, you report. That's it. You report to the disciplinary committee, and then they take it up from there.
Now, I've seen schools where, remember we had the discussion about the average and the rich.
Yeah.
I've seen schools where you mentioned the disciplinary committee.
Yes.
Their child, let's say that's from a rich background.
Okay.
Their child did something that was worth punishing. And of course, there are schools where their parents are sponsors in that school.
Yes.
So their child does something, they excuse them.
Not in my school. No, not in my school. In fact, coming in during the orientation, part of what we give you to sign as a parent, that you allow the school to take full course on your child and do whatever deems fit per time.
But you know, if I'm looking for something from you, I can come very humble, right?
We have a system. It's really strong. Trust me. It's really strong. Schools should just, well, some schools cut corners. That's the problem. They cut corners because
the problem is.
most especially schools that, you know, they are maybe struggling, or, you know, they are in the middle or the low grade. They because they are looking for sponsorship from parents. They want parents to give them money during their graduation ceremony or whenever they are holding any occasion. So for that kind of a school, you will see some of these things you're talking about. But for a standardized school where every system is put in place to take care of everything, you hardly see things like this. Trust me.
Well, like in my place, we have student handbook, right? That is made available to all the parents. The infractions are there. The consequences are there, right? So when there's an infraction, a student will write the incident form, right? The disciplinary committee will look at the handbook. What is the consequence for somebody that probably through fighting, or probably you pick somebody else's material? Okay, 1 week suspension to, you know, expulsion and whatever. So since we communicate with parents, they are aware of the content of the handbook. Okay. And so when it happens, you know, this disciplinary committee will submit a report. If there's need for us to call the parent, we invite the parent, please come. Then we'll let them know that, well, this is the situation. Is it an in-school suspension, or is it suspension out of school to mop for 3 days and all whatnot?
Earlier we were talking, and then I realized something. You mentioned another interesting topic. Does sleeping, like not having enough sleep, affect children even in their academics?
Absolutely.
Of course. The whole body is, you know, God didn't make a mistake the way he created us all.
Okay.
You know, for him to even create Eve, he put Adam to sleep.
Wow.
Because he knew, yes.
Creation.
No, let's take it back to the origin. He put Adam to sleep. Adam wasn't awake. Sorry, I'm a Christian, so I just have to. There's this biblical integration I do in everything I do, whether I am counseling, teaching, or just talking.
Yeah.
He put Adam to sleep before he carried out the operation, surgery now, right? Good. So why would you not want to sleep for because the entire body system is made in such a way whereby you're supposed to rest.
Yeah.
Even take yourself as an adult, walk more than you're supposed to. Your body will fight you. It will tell you that, no, you need to stop, you need to slow down, you need to sleep. And also sleep is very important. In fact, it helps people grow. Yeah, it's a therapy.
So what are the measures that are supposed to be in place to help children who are going through depression or mental breakdown in all of these things? What are the measures that schools are supposed to take?
First is to identify. You cannot solve a problem you are not aware of. So that's the reason why you see a lot of campaigns going here and there, a lot of program. My colleague here made mention of having gender assembly. We do it in our school too, having the gender assembly, mentorship, the counseling sessions, group, individual, and all of these. All of these are measures, for students to own up and come open. Most of the time, what I've seen is that students find it easier to confide in their mates, like their classmates, than coming to the counselor. So one way or the other, as far as the campaign is on, you will get it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, let me start by saying that one, there must be counselors in schools, right? Then two, to create awareness of mental health issues like depression, stigma, time management, attention deficit, hyperactive disorder. You create, let them know
Yeah.
that these are the various mental health issues. Then there's it for us to collaborate with parents. Like my place of work, Premier Academy, we have annual lectures, seminars for parents. And we invite professors from university, fix a day, come there, and educate them on mental health issues, depression, and what have you, and even what they need to prepare for when going to university.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir. You've heard it already. Sleeping well, having enough sleep helps you with your grades in school.
Yeah.
If you are a high school student, and if you have a problem, or if you feel depressed, if you feel like, okay, you just need help, there's always someone you can talk to. Your counselors are available to you. And of course, we have these beautiful ones. Please, Mrs. Choma is here, and
Yes.
Mr. Igbe, please learn to speak out when you feel like, okay, you have things going on. Even as the teachers, please don't carry your life stress on the students. I'm sure that even the children are going through their own personal stress. So
Sure.
we have to learn to be able to communicate. So thank you so much.
Sorry,
It was nice having
let me
you.
also add that counselors in schools are for everybody.
Okay, sir.
Counselors are not meant for the student alone, for the teachers, for even the board of governors.
Okay.
It's for everybody.
And I have something to say too. Well, you made mention of how students not in my school can reach me. The world is a global place now, it's a global village. They can reach out to me. I'm open. Counseling for me, it's passion. So they can reach out to me via my social media handles, and that will be it.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Okay, so you mentioned that you could be reached. How can we reach you for students who don't have the privilege to do that?
Well, on Facebook, I am Chioma Tracy Caminus. On Instagram, I'm Nachiti, NACHITY. And on TikTok, TCAM, TEECAM. So students should feel free to reach out to me. Whether I know you or not, I will respond to you. And, let's just get this going. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so before we go, sir, what would you tell parents who leave parenting, training, and the upbringing for their teachers? Because with the slang of after I've paid a huge sum of amount for school fees, what would you tell such parents?
Thank you very much. I will advise parents out there not to leave the whole responsibilities to the teachers. I've had a situation whereby parents say, well, I've paid my school fees, everything is for the school, right? So there should be collaboration. The school will play its own role. The parents will also have to play their own roles.
role.
You understand? So collaborations. And you agree with me that some of the problems students have in school started from home.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
With the era we are now, daddy had to go to work, mommy had to go to work, they leave the whole assignment for the housemaid and the drivers and what have you, right? See, that's why in the school today, we have so many single parents, right? You see, we have had a situation whereby somebody brought a court injunction that they should not allow the mother to visit those children in school,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
It's as bad as that.
Wow.
And there are some probably they are not divorced, but they are not together anymore. So there is no way that such a child will be able to concentrate in school because it's normal. Thinking about what happened during the class holiday, my mommy and daddy were not together and what have you.
Fighting.
Yeah. So I will plead with parents that it's a joint responsibility. parents are to play their role, the school will also play its own role. But definitely, they're not in school all the year round, right? When they're on holiday,
When they are home,
they
do your
continue.
job as a parent.
Exactly. But while in
Then when they
school,
come back to
the
school, the
school would
teachers
do
can take it.
exactly.
Because you
Take
have a
on.
lot of students having their teachers as their role model.
Yeah.
So they can do certain things, and the parents might actually not be able because they feel like the teachers should do that job for them.
Yeah. So
Okay.
saying that I've paid school fees, no. You also have your role to play as a parent.
Okay.
Why
So,
the
Ma,
schools will also play its role.
what do you have to say?
Well, I have seen very wise parents so far, and I've also seen some parents that I will consider unwise. I want to be nice with my words.
Okay, so
the wise parents, they take their leave during holidays when their children are on holidays. That's the particular time they be knowing that, okay, the normal school day, they're out also for work, they come back late and all. So they give their children more attention during the holiday period. But if a parent, because not every parent have the privilege of working in a place where they can take leave.
Yeah.
If you fall into the category, you just have to trust me. The human being that God created, we are elastic. If you take a rubber band and you stretch, you will see. So that's the way we are. Trust me. If you put it in your heart as a parent that I just have to make time for my children. Trust me, you wouldn't know how you would do it, but you would do it. So that is it. Yeah.
So thank you so much again. So that's the much we can take on this episode. I remain your favorite host, Ruth Gohemba Solomon. Please like, comment, and share. And please, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.